All right guys, today we're looking at the double outside turn. That's a right side pass pattern that looks like this. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. And we're gonna use some underarm passes and some sugar pushes just to give our followers a little break. 3 and 4 is the first time that we'll do a hand change. And we'll go into the details in just a minute. So here we go again, going now behind the leader's back, changing once again. Walk, walk, triple step. So another sugar push in here. I think there was one more we did from this hand that had us both turning in a tandem style. And that essentially is the same move, the double outside turn. All right, cool.
Cool, fellas,
Turn
we're going to
technique.
start with your footwork quickly. So I'm going to walk forward. On 1, I'm going to turn on that foot and step back. 2, I step one more step. 3, and then I'm going to have a collection here. So I'm going to go and 4, one more turn with my feet apart, and then 5 and 6 to finish. So quite most of that, I'm in a pivoting action, which is an open third position. On the and 3 is when I have the collection of the feet.
So leaders, we're going to keep our footwork a little, relatively simple, but a little different than how you did it in your original underarm pass. So the original underarm pass, you would have collected or crossed the feet with the flipping of the hand. So we're going to step and we're going to open up our body, and this helps to encourage the followers to continue moving down the slot. So the first turn was a rather wide, slow lead, and then you can see as we get to that middle area, there's a bit of what we call a halo lead, which encourages a faster style of turning. So we're going to even have a little bit of a pre-action before we start. I open my right shoulder on my ander, which prepares the followers to turn through their 1 into their 2. So notice that there's a little flip of the hand there. If I could get you to just go back from 1, yeah, and then we're going to flip into 2. And then this is where the hand's going to come up into the halo 3 and then we're going to finish the elliptical lead that we started on the beginning at the end. So we've got a slow orbit up to a halo and then a slow orbit. I got a bit lost on the way out there, on the way back. So you can sit here, 1, 2, 3 and then exit 5 and 6. The hand will finish upside down, so an underarm pass is a handy way to give your followers a break and reset your hand hold. Okay, so working on some of the variations, we're looking to exchange or replace the hands here, and that would happen on count 3 and. So walking that through, 1, 2, 3 and. And you see as Fab does the collection of the feet in the turn, the spin, the palm is facing you, and you're going to, in a sense, sort of high five, but you can see my fingers are encouraging, if Fab keeps moving, the direction of the turn. And then we'll come out here into an anchor step. Okay, let's break that down again. So reset your hands, and then we're going to have this little pre-action. And 1, 2, so there's the slow part. 3, and I replace the hands, and then 4. Okay, so try and time your hands to work together. So they're like 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it's a little bit like clapping your hands at a concert or something. I often see this, and it's a bit of annoying, is that the leader's hand comes up really early, and then it's just sort of hanging around in the middle of nowhere. And you'll also find that's when a leader tends to grab the back of the hand. So that's a bit early, and then you have a bit of an awkward fumble before you get to where you want to be. So try and be palm to palm, and then essentially that last part is sort of like a tuck, like a sugar tuck. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So that's handy to remember that. Okay, so we've got our foundation, we've got our first variation. Now we've got this handshake hold. We want to try and do the same thing, exchanging the hand on 3 and to return it to our original hand, but we're going to go behind the leader's back. So here's my 1, and now I'm going to collect my feet on my 2, but I'm going to turn to my left, which is behind my follower. Okay, so it's a little bit of work. You've got to reach behind your head. So if you have this range of movement or motion, then you should feel pretty confident to do this. If you've got bad posture, then your follower's going to bump into your back side. So try and extend through the middle of your back so you get a little bit more reach with your hands. Okay, so once again, we've got that pre-action that really helps the followers to carry the momentum into 1, 2, I'm going to mark the timing 3 and 4, because that just helps me to stay in sync with my partner, okay? Again, underarm passes to give us a break. We can reset the hand, and if we're ready, we could try it again. So 1, 2, and again, the hands come up at the same time, and then I just move myself back into the slot where I started on the 5 and 6.
Cool. Followers, while we're here, I'm just going to quickly talk to you about where you look. This will definitely help you. So we've got your footwork down, but now we need to talk about the head. So as I walk down the slot on count 1, you can see I'm kind of looking where I'm going, which is important. As I step back on count 2, I'm also going to look back to where I've just come from. As I turn here, I'm going to look back to where I've started here.
At 3 is to try not to look at your partner, okay? We see followers do this sometimes, and it sort of twists their body a little bit.
Yep.
That can destabilize the next turn. So look in your direction.
So now I'm going to be looking in my direction,
3
following, and 4. And then here, there's a couple of options. I could come round quick to look back at my leader on count 4 to 5. Or I could be here on count 4 and then anchor 5 and 6. So my head could be the last thing to come back round. That could be quite nice if you've got a bit of confidence from your turn, if you feel good, okay?
Okay, so we've got 3 variations now. The last one we just did was exchanging from handshake back to our original handhold. Okay, so we had one more to work on. And in this pattern, we need to appreciate how we move. We're going to let the followers move first, and we move at 90-degree sort of like offset. So as Fab turns to her right, I'm going to rotate. My shoulder lines up with her back with my shoulder with her shoulder with my middle. That's the only way that we're going to be able to fit inside each other's space whilst doing this turn. So if we were just doing this on the spot, we're going to lift the hand up, and I'm going to let Fab go first. And I'm not going to fiddle with the hand. I keep the hand exactly as it is. Then I turn, and then Fab turns, and then I turn, and then Fab turns. And then we just let the hand come down, and we finished. I know we look like penguins right now, but it could be really helpful if you could just learn the path of the partnership before trying to put it into your move, okay? So if we were putting it into the move, we're looking to do 1, and I am going to turn my back on my partner, but keep your eyes on the followers, leaders. And then as they go behind you, that's when you turn your head. And that's going to help you to delay your rotation so that you create more space for your follower. There's a sort of a typical symptom of that bashing off your partner that says that you were a little early. You tried to go through at the same time as the follower. So let the followers go first. You should find it's a lot smoother. So 1, 2 followers, 3 and a 4, 5 and a 6, underarm pass.
Followers, super important to keep your timing. Yeah, a lot of followers, you would hesitate on this. You'd get to 2 and you're like, what do I do? This is going to mess the move up. So keep your timing.
Keep going down the slot.
Keep working on your footwork, and you'll do really good, okay?
All right, good. Let's put those 4 moves into a little combination, and then you'll see us dancing it to the music once again. So we had our first one, which was simply the straight, the double outside turn. Then we have an underarm. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. This time with the hand change. 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. We'll put a sugar push in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to change the hand back. And again, it's on 3 and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Underarm pass to reset the hand. And then our final one, you can call it the she-he or a tandem turn. 3 and a 4, 5 and a 6. All right, cool. Guys, have fun with those underarm pass variations. All right, guys, today we're looking at the double outside turn. That's a right side pass pattern that looks like this. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. And we're going to use some underarm passes and some sugar pushes just to give our followers a little break. 3 and 4 is the first time that we'll do a hand change. And we'll go into the details in just a minute. So here we go again, going now behind the leader's back, changing once again. Walk, walk, triple step. So another sugar push in here. I think there was one more we did from this hand that had us both turning in a tandem style. And that essentially is the same move, the double outside turn. All right, cool.